or have this make-believe story. I left. I left because I wanted initially, I guess, space to see maybe will the space bring us back together, or do I need this space because I just need to rip off that band-aid. So, and initially I wanted the space or the break to rip that band-aid off. So
Hey guys, welcome to Little Black Button 91. Let's talk about this. Taking space, having a break on a relationship. Yeah, dead that talk. Can I say that? Dead it. Oftentimes when people do this, have a space, let's have a break, it is a soft launch for a full-blown breakup. Okay, all right. Whenever you hear we need a break and space, usually it is the preliminary aspect of you about to enter into a full-on breakup. But can we be honest here? Shantel Jackson just broke down something. She left Nelly because she wanted to see if it was to pull off the band-aid or whether it was we would circle back. And then she ends the conversation by saying, actually, what she actually did it for was so she can rip off the actual band-aid. Now, we know that with Shantel and Nelly that he hadn't married her but had been in for a few good years. So she hadn't really honored her own timeline. And I'm going to say this again because we did another video with Ashanti and Nelly, and now we're doing Shantel Jackson and Nelly. Any lady out there, stop wasting your time. You are wasting your time trying to play these type of games. Look, Chantel may not call it a game. I call it a game. When you try to soft launch and then say, actually, I was trying to see whether it was he would circle back or whether it was a case of ripping off that band-aid, right? You're not even sure about your own decision. And the reason why you're not sure is because really what you really want is actually the first one. You want him to circle back. That's why you're not sure. What you really want is you want him to be married to him, but he's refusing to commit. And now you're finding, I call it a manipulative way, a way of passively aggressively trying to get him to shift his position, hoping that if you took space and you separated from each other, then that person will draw onto you. Yeah, that's a manipulation. Now I'll talk about that on my other channel, Dark Arts Podcast, because I think that's a whole manipulative aspect that people actually like to do in relationships a lot. The whole point is this. We oftentimes have grown up in households where we haven't learned how to be assertive with our values. And so sometimes what happens is we get into relationships and we get scared. We get fearful and we're scared to be alone. We're scared to enact our own boundaries, because that would mean that we'd have to take a decision that would take us away from that person. We are afraid of losing them, so much so that we're willing to try and play this little bit of a Russian roulette kind of game, and where we're going to go, oh, we'll take space. But you were really kind of expecting him to chase you and wanted him to kind of come to his senses, almost like you're teaching him a lesson. Come to your senses. You're going to lose me. Come and collect me. The problem with that is you played a game and lost. That's not actually what happened. Now, she says, obviously, she wanted to rip off the band-aid, and that's what actually ended up happening. I get it, but you took space. Space is not ripping off the band-aid, right? Soft launching is not ripping off the band-aid. Whenever you say, let's go for a break, or you go for, let's just have some space, that is not ripping off the band-aid. Ripping off the band-aid would have been you saying, this relationship is done. It is over. We are no longer being together because I am not able to get what I want, and I don't want to be in this position where we're not going to have the marriage aspect between the two of us, right? You don't know how to fully let go. And because sometimes you're still emotionally connected to that person and you're thinking about how big a loss this could be, because it is Nelly, let's just be honest, right? And you're thinking to yourself, you're playing this game of powers in this moment. And it's like, I don't want to do too much, but let me do something, So you're caught between a rock and a hard place. And so you now end up doing this space thing, right? And it doesn't work. Hoping that he's going to spin the block. That's what you really wanted. Look, let's listen to it again one more time and then we'll break it down some more.
I left. I left because I wanted initially, I guess, space to see maybe will the space bring us back together, or do I need this space because I just need to rip off that band-aid.
So really and truly where she was at was that she was still emotionally compromised within the relationship. And so she wanted to have space to be able to make an effective decision. The problem is that the other person was more decisive than she was. She was not being decisive. That's why I don't play this. That's why actually I don't play with space. I don't like playing. If I'm in a relationship with somebody, because I've done a lot of situationships. Yeah, we can talk about space because it's a situationship. But when I'm in a relationship, let me tell you this now. I don't play with space. There is no space. There is no let's go on a break. There is none of that. Let's figure out. Yes, let's figure out. Let's actually put our heads together and see if we can bring about a solution. Right? We may not have to talk for a few hours. I get it, but we're gonna have to figure it out. You know what I'm saying to you? So for me personally, it's not about taking spaces and breakups because they oftentimes are soft launching and they often are robbing you of the opportunity to really actually do the work, to really actually begin to start bringing some resources, knowledge, inputs, really start studying and actually going deeper into actually how can I be better as a partner for you? How can you be better for me? But in this case, it's not necessarily about being a bad partner. They were not bad partners. There was a need and there was a particular ambition and goal that was not being met, marriage. And Nelly was not meeting it. So it really and truly, there was only one way. Have a direct conversation. Do you want to be married? Yes, no. Do you know what I'm saying to you? And I guess I'm paraphrasing because there's obviously other issues in the relationship, right? But he didn't do it in the end, right? I know they got engaged. I think they got engaged for a little bit as well, but didn't actually go through with it or whatever, right? Regardless, that issue didn't get sorted. That goal didn't get met. And therefore, we are on two different planes. We're not seeing eye to eye on the situation. By you saying you want to go on this break and this space, you don't realize you're creating your own risk, right? Like one person in their mind going, I'm willing to wait and see how it plays out. The other person might not be. They'll be like, sure. Well, since we're on a break, I can do whatever I want. I've been there. I've done it myself. I know. We take advantage of the gray areas. Yeah, probably wasn't the best decision to do. I mean, I don't regret it, but it probably wasn't the best thing to do because people get hurt. But it is what it is, right? You play with this game of called space and break, and it's going to break. You're going to get this. Okay? People are expecting that loyalty in that space. No, no, no. Work it out. Otherwise, don't put me in a break and a timeout. There is no timeouts. Okay. Now, of course, sometimes people believe when you take space, it allows us to become a better partner, more mature, more self aware. But the reality is, oftentimes people don't even put a time limit on the space. We just go and see what happens. And then they fall back into a relationship because then they start seeing each other and then start doing things again. And then they are back in a relationship. So actually, nothing really got solved because nobody was actually being intentional, right? You want it to work. You're having some optimism that it's going to work, but don't really actually understand that you are actually the master of your own downfall. And sometimes this promotes into this addictive, what I call trauma cycle of this kind of roller coaster effect of up and downs, highs and lows, and then wanting because of that highs and lows, creating that excitement again in a relationship. We need to be stable. Okay, none of this breakup so we can see if he's going to chase or not. That's exactly what she was really wanting for him to chase. Okay. Now, space can work, but in most cases, it doesn't because people are not being intentional about it. Like if we say we're going to get, we need 3 days, nobody's had to do anything. We've set boundaries. What exactly it is? What are we trying to achieve? Then that's completely different. If you're actually really setting up those boundaries and being honest about it with your partner, saying, "Hey, we need 3 days. We're gonna work. We're gonna research, find out what things can help benefit this relationship, so we can grow. I'm expecting everybody to be loyal, right? No boundaries. The space isn't that we're breaking up. The space is just to go and recalibrate. Then that's completely different. But the space that she was looking for, yeah, sis, we can't play those games. But listen, I'm gonna leave it there. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, click on that bell button for notification of the uploads. Let me know if you ever had to put a little something, with a partner, whether you had to initiate space or a little soft launching of a breakup by saying, "Let's go on a break," which will soon be up. You know what I'm saying to you? And let me know. And if you're going through this right now, this is a great time to reach out to me. We talk about this in coaching a lot with my clients. I deal with this a lot of times with clients who are going through either a breakup or they're dating somebody and they want to know whether this is the kind of right kind of person. And honestly, the answer always is within you. So when I'm giving you an advice, it's not based upon, yeah, do this or do that. My advice is always give me let's want the facts, say it out loud, and then you're going to start realizing yourself when we ask questions if this person is actually for you. And you're going to always realize you're making the best decision for you. So do me a massive favor, like it, share, subscribe, click on that wonderful bell button for notification of the uploads. We appreciate you. Stay locked, loaded. We'll see you.